Okay, here we are in the permissions tab of the staff member. We have the permissions for the staff member here. There's various levels of staff member. There's timesheet, who can only record time against a project. There's a viewer who can view projects but can't edit them. Project managers who can resource staff against projects but can't modify budgets. There's an admin which can do everything, and a limited admin, which is basically an admin but only limited to certain projects. There's also the financial data section, so you can control how much financial data a staff member sees. By default, they can't see anything. If you want them to see staff cost and project expenses, you can do so. You can say show me, so that will hide project fees, staff pay, other information. You can say show them everything except staff pay data, and you can say they're allowed to see all financial data. There's also specific project permissions, so by default everything is timesheet, but you can make sure that they only enter time against a particular cost center. You can add in extra permissions and say they can only enter time against projects, but for Sydney Opera House they're an admin. That's the basics of setting up your timesheets. I'll just show you what they look like. So let's say everything timesheet. I've got a login over here as Denise, and we can see that this is the first page they view when logging into Coincraft. They can add time against the projects they have permission for. They can also view their own timesheet reports, so that if they want to see the time they've entered against their own projects, they can do so. So say we made them a viewer for everything. We'll save that. And we can now see a lot more information. So the staff member can view contacts, they can view the project list, they can click on the project, but they can't edit any of these values. So if I click on them, nothing happens. They can see the forecast for the project, but not the revenue, because we've specified that they can't view revenue. They can also view tasks and notes for the project, but again, they can't modify them. They can also see the resource schedule for the projects. They can also see the resource schedule for the projects, but they also can't modify them. This menu shouldn't appear, but if we save it, you'll notice that it's just going to hang because the server is going to give them a permission denied, so they actually can't modify the values, but we'll fix this so the menu doesn't appear at all. If we go to everything project manager, save that, we'll refresh the list. So now they should be able to modify the hours for the staff against projects. We'll save that, it should save. Again, they can't see the revenue forecast because we haven't given them financial permissions. Got the project list here. They can't see or modify the fee because they don't have permissions, and they can't change budgets for the project either. But they can go in and modify the forecasts for the staff, view and modify tasks, add notes, view the history, and change project statuses. They can also enter time and do reports like other staff. Let's go here, let's start showing some financial data. So we can only see staff costs and project expenses. Save that, so when we refresh this project page, we can begin to see the expense budgets for the project as well as the expense budget forecast, but still only the resource schedule. If we change this to all data except pay data, we should start to see the revenue for the project. So if we refresh the page here, we can now see the revenue forecast, but we can't see any of the staff or business expenses. So we only have our expected revenue from our projects. Go to the project list, we can now see the revenue from the projects. Let's set them to be a limited admin. So the way we do that is we select the admin permissions above, where we say they're only admin for projects. And this time we'll allow them to see all financial data. Save that, give things a refresh. What a limited admin does is they still can't see business level information. So they can now look at stuff, but they can't modify them. They can view all the information for projects, they can create projects, they can do invoices, and enter timesheets like so. So it's only when you're a master admin that you have full access to the entire system. So now that we're a master admin, we go into revenue forecast, we can start to see the business expenses, we can start to edit staff and add in business holidays and other such information. So that should be everything you need to know about permissions. Thanks.